So in the last class, listen here. So in the last class, I said what is the advantage of using Numpy? I said Numpy arrays occupies less space or memory compared to the list data structure. And after that, I said about, okay, second point I said is an array data is organized in continuous memory locations, but in list, objects are stored randomly. A NumPy array takes less time to read data, but whereas it takes list takes more time to iterate the data. This is what I said. And after that, I said vector operations. So what is a vector operation is an operations which can be performed on array and array elements is called as which operations? Vector operations. And list doesn't support vector operations. Like when you're saying plus operator, what it will do? Concatenation. If you are using a star, what it will do? Repetition. But NumPy arrays support vector operations. It allows to use some operators to perform an array and array element values, right? Now this is what we have seen. Difference between the list and array and broadcasting. I said broadcasting is a process of converting shape of one array to another array or another shape. And this broadcasting is done automatically when arithmetic operations are performed on different arrays with the different shapes. Now, NumPy arrays support two types of broadcasting. One is implicit broadcasting and one more is explicit broadcasting. And what is implicit broadcasting is the conversion which is done by Python or PVM or which is done by NumPy. The conversion which is done by NumPy, that you can call it as implicit broadcasting. And explicit broadcasting is the conversion which is done by programmer. It is nothing but reshaping. Okay, changing the shape of the array. For example, you have a list. For example, you have a list. There is a list is there. So the list contain some 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. Now this is 1D array. If you take this is a list and this list represented as which array? 1D array. I want to convert this into what? 2D array. Means I want 2 rows and 2 columns. Then how can I convert this list from 1D array to 2D array? Is it list is provided any operations? No. List doesn't have any operations or list doesn't have any methods. List doesn't provide any operations or list doesn't provide any methods to change the shape. Okay, I cannot convert. Okay, but when it comes to NumPy arrays, it provide different functions. It provide different function. You'll say 2 is rows and 2 is what here? Columns. Now, whenever you are talking about array, NumPy array, the NumPy array can be either 1D array or it can be 2D array or it can be what? ND array. So 1D array means one row with multiple columns. 2D array is multiple rows with multiple columns. And there is a ND array. When you're talking about ND array, you can find 3D array. So 3D array. And you may find what here? 4D array. You may find 3D array or you find what? 4D array. You'll say 2 comma 2 comma 2. This is called which array? 3D array. So what is 2 here? N number of matrices. This is called as N number of matrices. And this is N number of matrices and this is number of rows and this is number of columns. If you are talking about 4D array, 2 comma 2 comma 2 comma 2. Now here 2 is called as a cluster array or cluster matrix and 2 is called as number of matrices and this is nothing but number of rows and number of columns. We'll talk about this. Okay. So array support 1D array, 2D array and what is that? ND array. ND array means that can be 3D array, that can be what? 4D array or it can be a number of arrays. Okay, right? So that is what exactly it is called as. Okay. So implicit broadcasting, you have an explicit broadcasting. Broadcasting is a process of converting shape of one array to what another array. When you are working with a list, lister doesn't provide any methods. Lister doesn't provide any methods to perform these operations. Okay, lister doesn't provide any means. We'll see examples. Array, we'll see examples here. Aman, we'll see examples. Akash Pandey, everything is fine. You checked your from your end, right? Now, NumPy support some mathematical and statistical operations. It support all these mathematical operations and it supports statistical as well as what? Linear algebra, right? NumPy having so many packages. I said NumPy.exception, NumPy.Fourier transformation, and NumPy.linear algebra, NumPy.polynomials, NumPy.random, NumPy.strings, NumPy.testing, and NumPy.what? Typing. All these are what sub packages which you find in which package? NumPy package. And by providing these packages, programmer doesn't require to write code and programmer try to use what? Existing code. And not only that, it is the API reference. What is the API reference is? So NumPy API provides some set of rules and regulations. And these rules and regulations used for developing NumPy array related what? Libraries. That is the sixth one I said interoperability between other libraries. This NumPy is used by other libraries like Pandas and SciPy and TensorFlow, Keras, and other data visualization tools. Now, all these are the advantages of using what? NumPy. Understood? Right? So then next, I'll just give you the differences between the list and okay, what is the difference between the list and array? Okay, NumPy array. Now the question comes here is what is the difference between okay list and NumPy array? So list is not an array. List is a linear data structure. Even array is also linear data structure, but array is having its own properties. Array is having its own properties compared to list. Okay. Yes. So what is the difference between this both? Now this is a list and this is what here array. So what is the difference between the list and array? Bolo here. What is the difference between the list and array? Tell me what is the difference between the list and array? List. Actually, list is a fundamental. Yeah, list is a fundamental data type in what here? Python. It is a fundamental data type or it is a standard data type. It is a fundamental data type or standard data type of Python. Standard data type. But this data type is provided by which one? Third party vendor. This data type is provided by third party vendor. Third party vendor means it doesn't comes with the Python software. This data types doesn't comes with the Python software. Okay. And whenever you talk about list, okay, list is a collection of homogeneous List is a collection of homogeneous or it can be collection of what? Heterogeneous. Okay, homogeneous or heterogeneous elements. Okay, so list contain either homogeneous or it may contain what here? Heterogeneous. But when it comes to array, generally you'll say array is a collection of similar type data elements. Similar type elements are what is that? Items. So list is a collection of homogeneous or heterogeneous elements. Okay, list is a collection of homogeneous or heterogeneous elements, but array is a collection of similar type elements or items. in list, in list, so data is represented, in list data is represented as what? Objects. But in array data is represented as not represented as what? Objects. It is represented as values. It is represented as what? Values. Okay. It is represented as values. Because of that, list occupies what? More space. Why it occupies more space? Because everything is represented as what? Objects. But whereas array occupy less space. Array occupy less space because it is having its own data types. Okay, list doesn't provides any data types, any data type for representing any data types for representing what? Data. But array, you are saying array is a collection of what? Similar type. Similar type means whenever you create an array, the array is created with one type. You may create an array with integer type. You may create an array with what? Float type. You can create an array with string type. If you are creating array with a string type, it can hold only string. If I am creating an array with integer type, it can hold only integers. But can you create a list with any type? No. You just create a list. And in that list, you can store any type of data. But when it comes to the array is bind with one type. You can create an array as an object type also, where you can store the objects, where you can store user defined objects, right? So array is bind with, or array is bind with one data type, or you can say array provides which one? Data types. Array provide data types, but list doesn't provide any data types. Array provide data types, but list doesn't provide any data types. So list doesn't provide any data types for representing data, but arrays bind with one data type, or array provides some data types. And you have a data types, and you can also define the size. Like you have an integer 16 that represent a value of how many bytes? 2 bytes or 4 bytes. Okay, right? Yes. Okay, now online students, is it my voice is clear, right? Online students. Online students. Okay, right? Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, right. Now list doesn't provide any data type for representing data, but arrays bind with one data type, or array provides some data types here. And it doesn't support which operation? It doesn't provide which operation? Vector operations. It doesn't provide vector operations, but it doesn't support vector operations, but here it support which operations? Vector operations, right? And next one is it is somewhat difficult. I mean, it doesn't provides, it doesn't provide, it doesn't provide, it doesn't provides any methods for changing what here shape. Doesn't provide any methods for changing what shape. Like I want to change from okay, some 2 by 2 into what 3 by 3. If I want to change from 1 by 2 into what 2 by 1, then can I do the changes here in list? No. So but it provides the methods. It provides the methods for changing what here shape. There's nothing but number of rows and columns. I want to change into some 4 rows and 4 columns. I want to change into 2 rows, I mean 2 matrices, I mean 2 into 2 into 2. How can I change it from one shape to another? Here I have to write a lot of code, but here I don't require to write code, right? That is nothing but number of rows and columns. So it doesn't provides any, it doesn't provides, it doesn't provide any predefined methods, any predefined methods to perform which operations, mathematical operations. It doesn't provide any methods to perform mathematical operations, mathematical, comma, statistical, okay, statistical and scientific calculations. It doesn't provide any methods. But when it comes to the NumPy array, it provides the methods to perform mathematical, statistical, and scientific calculations. It provides the methods. It provides the methods. Okay. Yes. And after this, yeah, I think you are getting right. The difference between list and array. The difference between the list and array. Okay. So some of the differences between the list and array. So when it comes to list, in list data is organized. Data is organized. How it is organized? Randomly or arbitrarily. But in array, data is organized in which order? Sequential order. It is organized in sequential order. It is efficient. It is efficient in reading. It is efficient in reading and writing. Not efficient, sorry. It is not efficient in reading and writing. Not efficient in reading and writing, but it is efficient. It is efficient in reading. It is efficient in reading because the data is organized in which order? Sequential order. Sequential order, right? So these are some of the differences between the list and what? Array. Okay, right? So what is the list? Tell me, our list is which data type? Fundamental data type in Python. Okay. And array is a fundamental data type? No. It is a data type provided by whom? Third party vendor. Means list data type comes with a Python, but array data type doesn't comes with a Python. If I want to work with the array, I have to install one library. What is the name of the library I should install? NumPy. But to work with the list, are you installing any libraries? No. It is comes with what? Python only. So any data type which comes with a Python, that you call it as which data type? Standard data types. Okay, now list is a collection of homogeneous or heterogeneous elements. Homogeneous means similar type. Heterogeneous means different type. Now list can hold same type or different type, but array can hold only similar type. And in list, data is represented as objects. but in array data is represented as values. And list occupies more space. Why it occupies more space? Because of objects. Okay. And but in array, it occupies less space because it reserves the space only for value. Okay. And list doesn't provide any data types for representing data, but array is bind with one data type. Or array provides what? Data types. Because you are saying array is a collection of homogeneous or heterogeneous? Homogeneous. Means it is bind with one type or not? Yes. If I'm creating an array with the integer type, it can hold only values of which type? Integer type. If I'm creating an array of float type, it can hold the data of only which type? Float type. Getting or not? So it doesn't support vector operations, but when it comes to the array, it supports what? Vector operation. What is a vectorization? It's nothing but performing or applying some operators on array. Okay, you are applying plus operator, star operator, where you do addition and subtraction and multiplication. But can you do that on list? No. If I'm using a plus, what it is doing? Concatenation. If I'm using a star, what it is doing? Repetition. But is it doing multiplication? No. But when it comes to the array, it supports which operations? Vector operations. It doesn't provide any methods for changing shape. But here it provides the methods for changing what? Shape. Shape is nothing but changing from one dimension to another. Number of rows and columns, right? It doesn't provide any predefined methods for performing mathematical, statistical, and scientific calculations. Is it list is having any methods like apart from append, insert, extend? Is it provide any predefined methods? No. I want to find out the mean, median, and mode. Is it provide any methods for mean, median, and mode? No. I need to write my own functions to find out the mean, median, and mode, right? But when it comes to the array, it provides some predefined methods. It provides some predefined methods to perform mathematical, statistical, and scientific calculations, right? In list, data is organized randomly, but in array, data is organized in sequential order, and it is not efficient in reading and what? Writing, but it is efficient in what? Reading. And generally, list is a mutable, but array is what? Immutable. Okay, here I'm writing list is mutable collection. Okay, but whereas array is what? Immutable. Array is immutable. I'm saying it is immutable, right? Array is immutable. List is mutable. Array is what? Immutable. Immutable means what is mutable and immutable? That is Sai Kumar. That is global. That is generalized function. Sum is a generalized function. Sum is what? Generalized function. That is not just used with. Okay, that is not just used with. Okay, yes. Sai Kumar, that is generalized function here. Generalized means now sum is used for adding strings. Suppose list contains strings. Can you concatenate strings by using sum? Yes. Yes. Yes or no? So sum is only adding numbers or anything? Anything. It is applied to the set. It is applied to what? All other data types. So mutable means we can add, update, delete objects from the list. Yes. Immutable means you cannot do that. Changes. Changes in the same object. Changes in the same object. That is called as mutable. Changes in another object, that is called what? Immutable. You don't do changes in the same object because it doesn't provide mutable operations. Okay. Mutable means same object. Immutable means you cannot do the changes in the objects. Same or something. See, some people say same object. Same object కాకుండా వేరే object ఎట్లా change చేస్తాం? Mutable. Mutable means allows to do changes. Immutable means not allows to do changes. Allows to do changes. Where you are doing changes? In the same object only, right? Same object or in some other object? Same object. That you call it as which one? Mutable. Immutable means it doesn't allow to do changes in the same object. That is called as what? Immutable. If you want to do changes, what do you do it? You copy that into another object and do it. That is called as what? Immutable. Immutable means it is not allowed to do changes in the same object. If you want to do changes, what do you do it? You create another object and apply the changes. You read the data from this object and copy into what? Another object. That is called immutable. Means immutable means which doesn't allow to do changes. I should not say all these things. Mutable means it allows to do changes. Immutable means not allows to do changes. Not allows to do changes, that is called immutable. Allows to do changes is called what? Mutable. Yes. Now this is what is the meaning of mutable and what? Immutable. This is the meaning of mutable and immutable. Right. This pointer, I just remove this pointer. Okay. So list is a mutable and I said array is what? Immutable. We'll talk about that. Okay. So it is not efficient in reading and what? Writing. And it is efficient in reading. Okay. Mutation means changing. It is efficient in reading. Now, this is what you find the difference here. And list is created using what? Square brackets. Right? List is created using what? Square brackets. But when it comes to NumPy array, is it any symbol? No. So NumPy array, now array is created using number of what? Functions. There are so many functions provided by NumPy. There are so many functions provided by what? NumPy. There is no symbol. If you want to create a list, how you are creating a list within the square brackets? I am writing 10, 20, 30. Now this represent which one? List. But how can I create an array? Is it any symbol? No. If I want to create an array, I'm using one function called array. If I want to create an array, I'm using a function called arange. If I want to create an array, I'm creating an array by using what? Zeros. If I want to create an array, I'm creating an array by using, okay, line space. I'm creating an array by using linspace. I'm creating an array using, okay, what is that? Okay, zfill is there. Zfill or zero array once. Okay, now there are so many methods are there. So many functions are there for creating which one? Array. But is it any symbol is there for creating a NumPy array? No. There is no symbol for creating what? NumPy array. So array is created using number of functions. There are so many functions are provided. List object is represented using which class? A list class. Okay, what is the name of the data type? List is the name of the class. And array object is represented array object is represented using array object is represented using what is the name of the class is nd array. What is the name of the class? nd array. nd array is the name of the class, and this class represent which object? Array object. And list class represent which object? List object. A list class is used for representing list object, and nd array class is used for representing which object? Array object. So you need to understand now these are some of the differences between the list and what? Array. Understood? Right. The next one is, let me talk about, yes, how to create. How to create which one? NumPy array. Now before talking about that, I just wanted to tell you, yeah, this is clear, right? All of you? The advantages of using, what is the advantage of using NumPy array? What are the applications of using NumPy array? I said advantage, applications, all the things. Where this NumPy is used. I said where it is used. What is NumPy? I said about this. NumPy is what? Library. It is a third party library. And NumPy stands for numerical Python. And the latest version of NumPy is what? 2.3. And this is a fundamental package for scientific computing with Python. NumPy is a fundamental package for scientific computing in Python. It is a Python library that provides a multi-dimensional array object, various derived objects such as masked arrays and matrices, and an assortment of routines for fast operations on arrays. There are a lot of subroutines provided by array, including mathematical, logical, shape manipulation, sorting, selection, IO, discrete Fourier transformation, linear algebra, basic statistical operations, and random simulations, and much more. All these are provided by which one? NumPy. I said applications of NumPy, scientific like quantum computing, statistical computing, signal processing, image processing, graphs and networks, geographic processing, architecture and engineering, mathematical analysis, bioinformatics. Array libraries, and these are used by other libraries like PyTorch and what is that? TensorFlow. These are belongs to machine learning, right? So data science libraries build on the top of which one? NumPy. ML libraries build on the top of which one? NumPy. And data visualization libraries also build on the top of which one? NumPy. So NumPy provides a powerful data structure called which one? Array. Understood? Right? I just copy this again. What is NumPy is? Already I said this. Okay, again I put here what is NumPy is and what is the difference between list and array. And NumPy, if you see, if you see the timeline of this NumPy, if you see the timeline of NumPy, yes. Anwar Ali, NumPy is a third-party library. Means what is the meaning of third party is this is not provided by Python people. These libraries are not provided by Python people. It is provided by third-party vendor, right? It is provided by third-party vendor, right? It is not provided by Python people. It is provided by third-party vendor. Okay. Yes. Now NumPy is one of the oldest. Okay, initially one person is there whose name is Jim Hangman. Okay, this person is developed one library called which one? Numeric. Initially, this person is developed one library called Numeric. So that is not up to the standards. Because of that, in 2001, there is one, this library is rewritten by the same person. This same person is rewritten this library and is given name as what? Num array. And this is for large arrays. But when the technology grown, like when it comes to the data science and artificial intelligence, so it required more number of operations. And in 2005, there is a person whose name is Travis Oliphant, whose name is what? Travis Oliphant, is rewritten this NumPy array and developed one package. What is the name of this? NumPy. So NumPy is introduced in which year? 2005. And who developed this NumPy? Travis Oliphant. Who developed NumPy? Travis Oliphant. And NumPy is derived from which one? NumArray. NumArray is derived from which one? Numeric. It means NumPy is included all the features of which one? NumArray, along with what? Some new operations, right? So NumPy is developed by, see, this is one of the old, you can say 1995, and this year is what? 2025. 1995, 2025. Okay, how many years? Huh? How many years? Yes, it is oldest or new? Old. When the Python is developed in 19, when first version is released in 1991. First version is released in 1991. So Python is developed in the year 1991. So Java is developed in which year? 1994. Java is in 1994. Python is in 1991. Which one is oldest language? Java na Python na? Python. Python is oldest language compared to which one? Java. But why Java is like, when you see the timeline of, when you see this number of years, most of the enterprise applications are developed in what? Java. Because Python doesn't have a community support. See, when the language becomes popular, if it is used by all the people, if it is used by all the people. So when they develop the Python, they develop the Python for which applications? Scientific applications and complicated mathematical expressions. But why they develop Java? Because of to achieve platform independence. So this is the first language which is called as a platform independent language. The other languages taken the features from this Java. Now even Python is also called platform independent. But what is the motivation behind developing that platform independency? Java only. Java only. But initially your Python is not a platform independent. Getting or not? Initially it is not a platform independent. They added some features of platform independence. But it is portable, but it is not a platform independence. Understood? Right? But this is one of the oldest programming language compared to which one? Java. Now Python is derived from which language? ABC. Python is derived from which language? ABC. ABC language. ABC language. It is having all the features of which language? ABC language. And Python is a programming language. It is written in which language? C language. And NumPy array is developed in which language again? C language. So why all the programming languages uses C? Because C is one of the efficient programming language. And it is a mid-level language. And it is having features of low level as well as what? High level. It means using C you can interact with the hardware. Now Python can interact with the hardware. Yes, but using C only. Python cannot interact directly with the hardware. Python can interact with the hardware by using which libraries? C libraries. It means your Python program is calling the functions of which language? C language. But is it interacting directly with the hardware? No. Getting or not? So any low level operations you want to do it, that low level operations are done by using which language? C. Even if you are working with the Java, if you are working with the .NET, any programming language uses functions of which libraries? C libraries to interact with the hardware, right? So NumPy, okay, NumPy is introduced. So Numpy is introduced in the year what? 2005. And Numpy is developed by a person whose name is Travis Oliphant, not elephant, Oliphant. Travis Oliphant. His name is, I think, whose name is Travis Oliphant, right? And Numpy is derived from another library, another library called which one? NumArray. What is the name of the library? NumArray. So this is enough for history, right? Okay. Yes. Okay, right. Now after this, now next we'll see how to create an array. How to create an array. But before talking about that, let me talk about what is that ND array. ND array class or ND array what? Data type. ND array class or ND array data type. See, very important. This number is very important if you are working with the data science, artificial intelligence, and data visualization. And if you want to do some statistical operations, or if you are working with what? Image processing, or audio or video processing, how you represent data. Suppose you want to represent one image. What image contain rows and columns? Is it image contain number of rows and columns or not? Yes. Data, how you represent image data? You represent image data in the form of matrix. You represent audio data in the form of matrix. And then you perform certain operations. Even signal processing is done by using what? Matrices. Even statistical operations, you can do it by using what? Matrices, right? By representing data as a 1D array, by representing data as what? 2D array, by representing data as what? ND array, right? Yes. So what is ND array class? ND array class or data type? So NumPy library, NumPy library or module, provides, one data structure, only one data structure, one data structure called which one? ND array. It provides only one data structure called which one? ND array. ND array. ND array. ND array is a class. It is a data type which is used to represent what? Array. To represent what? Array. This array can be this array can be what? 1D. This array can be what? 2D. This array can be 1D, 2D, or it can be what? ND. This array can be 1D, 2D, or what? ND. It can be anything, right? Yes. Yes. So ND array is a class or data type which is used to represent array. And this array can be 1D array or 2D array, what? ND array. What is 1D array? What is 1D array? One row with multiple columns. What is 2D array? Multiple rows with multiple columns. Don't say 2 rows, 2 columns. Huh? 2D array means multiple rows and multiple columns. For example, if I'm writing like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, 9, 10, okay, 11 and 12. Now this is which array? This is which array here? 2D array. With how many rows? 3 rows. And how many columns? 4 columns. This is called what? 3 by 4 is what? Shape. This is called as a shape of the array. This is called what? Shape of the array. Shape represent, or what shape represent? Number of rows and columns. Shape represent number of rows and columns. Number of rows and columns, right? Then how you represent, suppose if I'm writing like this, okay, there is an array with 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is which array? 1 into 4. This is which array? 1 into 4. 1 is what? Row. And 4 is what? Column. This is called which array? 1D array. This is called which array? 1D array. So what is a yes, 1D array, 2D array, 3D array. 3D array means how you represent 3D array? You'll say 2, okay, 2 comma 2 comma 2. If you are writing a 2 comma 2 comma, what is that? 2. What is a 2 here? Number of matrices. What is a 2 here? Number of matrices. Here, number of matrices. How many matrices are there? 2 matrices. How many matrices are there? 2 matrices. And each matrix contain number of rows. How many rows are there? 2 rows. See here, I am representing like this. And each row is having how many columns? 2 columns. Here, this is how you represent which array? 3D array. This is what here? 3D array. This is called as which array? 3D array. This is number of matrices. This is number of rows and this is number of columns. Now you will say this is 0, 1. This is say 0, 1 and this is 0, 1 and this is 0, 1. This is 0, 1. This is 0, 1 and this is 0, 1. What is this 0, 1 are all called? Indexes. This is indexes or not? Yes. You will say 0, comma 0, comma 0. 0 comma 0 comma 0. Will it get the first element or not? Yes. If I'm writing 0 comma, what is that? 1. Will I get the second element or not? Yes. Getting or not? So this is which array? 3D array. This is which array? 3D array. 3-dimensional array. 3 dimension. You can say cubic. Cubic represent which array? 3D or 4D or ND? 3D, right? Yes. So you need to understand what is the meaning of this is 1D array, 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, n dimension. Okay, we'll create it. Don't worry, we'll see all the things practically. We'll see all the things practically. Okay. So NumPy library or module provides, okay, only one data structure called ND array. An ND array is a class or data type which is used to represent which one? Array. And this array can be 1D or 2D or what? ND. Okay, yes. The next one is how to create. Next one is how to create which one? Array. How to create an array. How to create an array. If you want to create an array, why you are creating an array? To store what? Data. How you are storing a data in array? In the form of rows and columns. By organizing the data in rows and columns, you can perform which operations? Mathematical operations. Okay, by organizing the data in the form of rows and columns, you can perform which operations? Mathematical operations, statistical operations, linear algebra, you can do linear equations. All this you can solve it by representing data in the form of rows and columns. Understood? What do you say here? Okay, you should not think that array क्यों create कर रहे? सही है नहीं? You are learning arrays, but you should know why you are creating array. Why you are creating array? You are creating array to represent data. In memory, you are organizing data in the form of rows and columns. By organizing the data in the form of rows and columns, you can solve certain problems. Understood? Right? Suppose that is what I said. No, anything you take here, mathematics, you want to find the products. I said no, like suppose I want to, what do you call it as, flip the image. I want to flip the image vertically, horizontally. Flip the image vertically and what? Horizontally. How can you flip it? By changing axis. By changing axis or not? Yes. Suppose, yes, transpose. There you are trying to do what? Transpose. Rows to columns and columns to rows. That is a simple thing. What you are applying it by representing data in the form of what? Arrays. But a lot of things you can do it. Rotation is there. Image rotation. How you rotate the image? By shifting it or not? Yes. By shifting. By shifting what? Data. By shifting data, rotating data within the matrix. Within the matrix, you rotate the data. That can be called as what? A rotation of which one? Image. You are doing some mathematical operations. You are doing some mathematical operations. Okay, right? So how to create an array? How to create an array? Now, Numpy provides so many functions. Numpy provides so many functions. Okay, Numpy provide lot of functions. Already I said how to install the Jupyter, right? Now just open Jupyter Notebook. How you open? Or how you open Jupyter Notebook? Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook. But Jupyter Notebook should be there. Without installing, you don't open Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So my sir said type Jupyter Notebook, it will open. But in my system, it is not opening. Okay. Before that, first you have to install. What do you need to install? Jupyter Notebook. So pip install Jupyter. Jupyter notebook. Pip install notebook. If you don't want to do that, install directly which one? Anaconda. If you install Anaconda, with Anaconda, you'll get what? Notebook. With Anaconda, you'll get notebook. What is Jupyter Notebook? What is Jupyter Notebook? It is a web application. What is Jupyter Notebook? Web application. And Jupyter Notebook allows you to work in which mode? Interactive mode, programming mode. It is a web application. It is a notebook where you are trying to store the code, output, information, everything. You are bundling it within one book. And that you can call it as which one? Notebook. Now, what is the extension of notebook? What is the extension of notebook? Dot I. What is the extension here? What is that? IPYNB. IPYNB. NB stands for notebook. PY stands for Python. I stands for interactive. I stands for what? Interactive Python notebook. Right? Yes. Now this is what we have seen in the last class and explain some of the things. Right? So import what is that? Numpy, and run the cell. Just click on shift enter. You can use shift enter or you can use run. What is the shortcut to run the cell? Shift enter. You can say shift enter. No error, right? Okay, it means Numpy is available or not available? Yes. Available or not available? Available. If it is not available, then you'll get what? Error. You get the error. So if you want to install from notebook, you want to install from notebook. How can you install from notebook? So here you can use a command. What is a command? Pip install. What you should write? Numpy. Pip install Numpy. Run the cell. Run the cell. Might be. So it is saying that it is already Satisfied means it is installed or not installed? Install. How can you run the external commands? By using which one? Exclamatory. Use which symbol here? Exclamatory. Use the exclamatory and run the commands. So pip install, pip is what? External command. What is a pip is? External command. Pip stands for package install program, or you will say preferred install program. Preferred install program. Now you are trying to install one program. What is the name of that? Numpy. Now you don't go to command prompt. You can install directly from notebook by just giving exclamatory and give the name of the command. What is the command is pip, and then install and tell the name of the library. Tell the name of the library, right? Yes. Then after installing, how can you verify? Import it. Import. What is the name of this is? Numpy. Numpy as what? NP. Now giving alias is compulsory. Yeah? Not required. You can just write import numpy. Import numpy, right? Numpy. Every time you should say numpy, numpy. You have to type numpy, numpy, right? The name is very big. Bigger. Okay. Then you give what name? Alias name. What is that alias? NP or anything you can give. Okay, right? Otherwise, you can directly say what? Numpy, right? How can you verify the version of Numpy? NP dot. What is this? Version. NP dot version. And this written the Numpy version. And the version which we are using is 2.3.2. Clear? समझ में आया यहाँ तक? कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो बोलो यार, फिर बोलूंगा मैं. Online students, if anything you have, you just put into chat window. Okay, right? I'll try to clarify your doubts. Understood? Okay. Because for learning Numpy, what you required? Numpy सीखने के लिए क्या है? Requirement क्या है? Python पूरा आना चाहिए? नहीं, जरूरी नहीं है. You don't require to know everything. You need to know one certain things. What is that? List. Yes, very good. You should know only list. List means basic data types, you know it. Integer, float, you know it, right? Yes. If you know that, then happily you can learn. Not Numpy, Pura. Numpy, Pandas, Matplotlib, everything you can learn it. Understood? Right? Yes. Instead of Jupyter, you can also use VS Code. No problem. You want to use VS Code? Use it. Open VS Code. अरे क्यों यार, पूरा क्यों सीखते यार? ओपन द VS Code. यहाँ पे भी लिख सकते. You can use VS Code. You can use PyCharm. You can use what is that? You can use VS Code. You can use PyCharm. You can use Jupyter. You can also use IDLE. IDLE you can use, and you can also use Spider. Spider is there, no? Spider is also for scientific, and you can also use Google Colab without installing anything. Without installing anything, you can just use what? Google Colab. Understood? But कौन सा भी यूज करो, क्या लिख रहे हो उसके अंदर? कौन सा भी यूज करो, what you are practicing code, but you required an environment which is suitable for developing specific type of application, right? You can use IDLE. You can use what? IDLE. So nobody will ask you in interview. They'll ask you where you practice Numpy. In interview, they ask you where you practice Numpy, or you know Numpy. You know Numpy. What is Numpy? What is array? What is ND array? They'll ask these things, but they don't ask what is Jupyter, what is where you practice this Numpy, are you practiced or not? Yes or no? Yes. अभी कैसे रहता बोले तो Jupyter notebook. Ideal is outdated. Some people say ideal is what? Outdated. 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 No. They are adding more features in ideally. 14 is coming, right? Coming. Came. आ गया आ रहा आ गया 14 आ गया कब आ गया यार 7th all releases after 10th okay but the release pre-release is available right pre-release 10th को आता 10th 7th यार कल आ जाएगा so कल से 3.14 पढ़ना अपन yes what are the new features in 3.14 we'll discuss we'll discuss अगस्त 10th नो यार कल 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 आ जाएगा यार not August 10th August 10th this is what year month date a year sorry year month date what is a year 25 month is 10 date is what 7 so planned so how many ways can you format the string tell me how many ways can you format the string huh how many ways can you format the string 4 ways पहले बोलो यार old style second is new style third one is f string fourth one is t string now this t string is introduced in 3 point what 14 3.14 old style is like c new style using format and f string the string which is prefixed with f but when it comes to the python 3.14 they introduce what t string we'll discuss later we'll discuss okay na right so how to create an array now tell me can I create an array directly using nd array can I create an array see I want to create a list how to create a list you can create a list by using what square brackets you can create a list by using which data type list data type you can create a list by using square brackets. You can create a list using which data type? List data type. List क्या है? Data type है. This list is a data type. I'm saying print print A, comma B. Print type of A, comma type of B. If you run this code, A, B or which type? List type. But when you want to create an array, yes, you want to create an array, what do you do it? np dot, what is the name of the class? What is the name of the class? nd array. What is the name of the class? nd array. Now, can I create an array by using nd array? Just see here, print, I just write here A1 and then I run this code. When I run this code, immediately it is given what? Error. Immediately it is given what? Error saying that missing required argument. Missing required argument. What is the required argument here? Shape. So whenever you are creating an array, compulsory you have to define what? Shape. Compulsory you have to define what? Shape. What is a shape is? What is a shape represents? Rows and columns. What is a shape represents here? Rows and columns. Compulsory, you have to define rows and columns. But here, when I'm creating a list, are you defining rows and columns? No, because list is not a array. List is not an array. List is a linear data structure where you organize the data in which form? Linear form. That's it. It is not having any characteristics of which one? Array. Whenever you are saying characteristics of array, what array is having? Dimensions. What array is having? Shape. Array is having dimension. Array is having what? Shape. Array is having data type. Array is having data type. Array is having access. Access. Array is having what? Access. So there are so many characteristics of which one? Array. But is it list is having all these characteristics? No. So because of that, list cannot be treated as what? Array. Now, whenever you want to create an array by using ND array, you cannot create it directly by using what? ND array. If you want to create it, you can create it, but one argument is compulsory. Which argument is compulsory? Shape. Which argument is compulsory? Shape. Now, I need to give a shape here. Now, shape equal to, I'm writing 2 comma 2. I just write here shape equal to 2 comma 2. If I run this, is it given any error? No. But are you represent any data? Are you created? Are you stored any data? No. No, you have not stored any data, right? Are you stored data or no data? No data. But what will happen if I print A1? What will happen? You know, see, all of you know, see. मैं कुछ नहीं पूछूंगा यार. I don't ask any questions. I don't criticize the students. You want me to criticize? Integer a of 5. Bolo here. This is creating array in which language? C language. Array is created. Created or not created? Created with how many rows? 5 rows. 1 row with 5. कौन से भी देख लो आप. Okay. Row order, column order, I'll discuss that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what are the values of this array? 4 values are, 5 values are there. But what are these values are? कुछ values रहते ना इसके अंदर. आप values दिए नहीं दिए? नहीं दिए. You have not given values, right? Then what values you have? C भी नहीं मालूम. C भी मालूम है नहीं मालूम है? नहीं मालूम. These values are known or unknown values? These values are known values or unknown values? Unknown values. You'll say unknown. Unknown means what? Garbage values. Yes, unknown values are which values? Garbage values. Because are you initialized or not initialized? Not initialized. Not initialized means it will try to take some values which are already there in what? Memory. Getting or not? Those values are known or unknown? Unknown. अभी सी मालूम है बोल के बोल रहे और कुछ भी नहीं मालूम. Integer a or given value? No. Printf, percentage d. What is this? A. Tell me what is the value of a? Garbage. Are you given value to a or not given? Not given. Then what is the value of a? Garbage value or unknown value? This is not known value. This is what? Unknown. These values are not known. These values are what? Unknown values. Unknown values. These are unknown values. अरे garbage collector अलग है, garbage value अलग है यार. Garbage value means garbage value is known value or unknown value? Unknown value. Garbage, I don't use garbage term, right? Unknown values. These values are known or unknown? Unknown. Means is it array is initialized? Junk. Yes, junk data. Junk data means is it known data or unknown data? Unknown data. Unknown data, right? So whenever you create an ND array, compulsory you have to give which one? Shape. Because you cannot create an array without shape. You cannot create an array without shape. And what shape represents? Rows and columns. But whenever you create an ND array by using which data type? ND array, you have to give a lot of things. You have to give a lot of things. Means one thing is compulsory. Which one is compulsory? Shape is compulsory. But I want to represent data also. I'm writing A2 equal to NP dot ND array. ND array, I want to represent data. I want to represent what? Data. And I'm representing this data as a list. 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma what? 4. Now this is a list contain how many rows? 1 row. With how many columns? 4 columns. 1 row and 4 columns. Now what will happen if I run this? If I run this, now it is created ND array with how many rows? It is created ND array with how many rows? 1 row with multiple columns or not? Yes. But what happened here? Is it this is represent data, na? Tell me, this is represent data? No, this doesn't represent what? Data. See, is it representing data, na? No, it is not representing data. It is representing what? Shape. It is representing data or shape? Shape. Now tell me, this is which array? This is which array? ND array. Now 1 is a cluster and 2 is a matrix, 3 is a rows and 4 is what? Columns. 1 is a cluster, 2 is a matrix, 3 is a rows and 4 is what? Columns. It is how many? This contain, this is which array? 4D array. This is which array? 4D array or ND array. Which is having 1 is a cluster and 2 is a matrix and 3 is a rows and 4 is what? Columns. But I want to represent data. I want to represent what? Data. For that, so NumPy provided so many functions. NumPy provided number of functions. And I said in the beginning, NumPy provide lot of functions for creating. NumPy provide lot of functions for creating array. So it is number of functions it provided. I said in the now I said NumPy array creation. Okay, array creation. Now we completed first one. What is the first one is? Introduction to NumPy. Now we are enter into second one, that is array creation. And creating arrays can be done using array function, arange function, linspace, log space, and special arrays like zeros, ones, empty and full. And there is identity or diagonal functions like I and diagonal. And there is random arrays called random dot random, random integer, random n, and random choice. Okay, random choice. And then you have a array attributes. We'll discuss this array attributes. Okay, right. So array creation is done by using various functions. Array creation is done by using various functions. Now, how to create an array? NumPy, okay, NumPy provides, okay, various functions to create what here? Array. But you can also create it by using ND array. You can also create it by using ND array. But it provided various functions. So that can be done by using creating array by using array function. There is an array function, there is arange function, there is len space function, there is log space function, and there is special functions like zeros, ones, empty and full, and there is an identity or diagonal functions like I and diagonal, and there is random arrays like random dot random integer, random dot random n, and random dot what? Choice. And these are other functions even you can use for creating which one? Array. But it is always preferable to use what? Functions in the place of using whichever data type? ND array data type. Instead of using ND array data type, you can use, instead of using ND array data type, NumPy provided some functions. and use those functions. Okay, use those functions to create array object. So all of you, is it clear this up to? Below here, yes or no? Okay. Then tomorrow I'll tell you all these functions. Like there are so many functions are there, right? So we'll talk about all these functions in detail. Okay, right? Yes. So don't think that we are just learning NumPy. We learn NumPy with real-time use cases, where each and every matrix is used, where 1D array is used, when 2D array is used, where ND array is used. We'll see everything with use cases and real-time applications, right? Thank you. We'll see tomorrow, right? And Amma, Python plus 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And 10, 15.